Kev, I had a dream last night, and it involved Tyler Hines, but I'll get into that later. First, I'd like to talk about what if we did this show live? Do you think? What do you think? Do you think we should?
I don't think we should do it live one time. I think we should do it live many times.
Kevin, do you think we should do it live 3 times in December because ComedySportz Philadelphia said we can?
Then let's do it.
I can't wait. So on December 3rd, December 10th, and December 17th at 8 p.m., you will see a live Remark episode. All different movies, all different guests, all different segments. There's prizes. There's free things.
That's true. I might even open this mailbox and see if there's anything in it. You can't miss that.
Kevin, you're like the woman from Donnie Darko. There's never any mail.
Kristin, there is mail. There totally is. And you could send us mail. We might read it on the air. We might read it on one of our live shows. We might look and see, and it might be a Santa Claus hat that my daughter drew for me. Or is it a stocking? Tune in live and find out. December 3rd, December 10th, December 17th.
It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristin. Oh yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Remark. Thank you all for joining us. I am Kevin Regan. I don't do this alone. I have my trusty co-host, Kristin Finger.
Hey, thanks, Kev. Guys, we are back again. We are recapping Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Sweater. Now, a little bit about this film is, I didn't think they'd be able to make that title work in the film. Don't worry, they do. This is about Maggie, a teacher who has a daughter and is divorced. Now, this is something interesting. Hallmark usually doesn't deal with divorce, but in this, they did, and I appreciated it. Also, it deals with Lucas, a guy whose heart has just been broken, maybe about a 2-year ago, whatever. This synopsis is going well. But basically, worlds collide, and when I say collide, I mean she hits this guy with a Christmas tree. I first thought there was going to be some amnesia happening, but no, he comes to just fine, except for a broken wrist. Ugh, but that means he can't go skiing for his holiday shot. Therefore, he needs to now stay with his brother and sister-in-law. Wait a minute, they don't have a place to stay. Oh no, Maggie does. Maggie's guilt allows her to offer up this stranger a place to stay for the holiday season. She was going to be spending it alone because her daughter was with her father. So she was like, I have an art studio that's not even an art studio yet. Do you want to stay there? And he was like, okay. And then magic. That's my synopsis of Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Sweater. Now, Kevin and I weren't the only ones that got to watch this film. We also have guest Sarah Blask on the show. Hi. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Of course, we couldn't do it with just one guest. Not the Remark way. We got a second guest. It's Don Montrey.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. It's very cold.
Chilly
very
out
cold
there.
Out here.
Yeah, I bet.
Good for that tree who knocked over Lucas.
Don, is that a tree that's already decorated out there for you? Get that one. You're done. That's your holiday.
That's right. That's the only one left. It's the rare. It's a light pine tree.
Yeah. Now, Sarah and Don, I already know the answer to one of you, but I'll ask Don first. Don,
Okay.
you often frequently watch the Hallmark holiday films, or was this the first time for you, buddy?
This was the first time, Kristin and Kevin.
Don, was this the last time?
No, this will probably not be the last time I will watch a Hallmark holiday movie.
That is lovely to hear. When you sat down, what was your mindset? Were you like, I'm going to observe from the outside of this? Or were you like, I'm going to really get into this?
Well, I mean, of course, like most people, I go in with a very preconceived notion of what the Hallmark holiday movies are going to be. And I was not proven wrong in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That is actually what grabs you. Like, I love Christmas. Love it. Best holiday ever. All right. Sorry, Halloween. Sorry, Hanukkah. Sorry, Boxing Day.
Oh,
yes.
you switched that. I thought you were going all H's.
No, sorry, Boxing Day.
Yeah.
But like I love the world, and the aesthetic of the world is so comfortable and so lovely, and just like everywhere you look, there are little Christmas lights, or there is snow on the ground, which we're never going to see again, or the bows and greens and presents, and everyone's happy, and all the women are wearing boots. It's great. I love it.
Don loves a woman in a boot. Now, Sarah, you, I know, because we worked together. Sarah and I's favorite thing to do when we were allowed to be in the office was we would watch these films, and then I would go down to go to the bathroom, but really just talk to Sarah about these Hallmark movies. So Sarah, tell us about your Hallmark just viewing history and how you feel and how you felt going into this film.
I love them. Don't have a personal connection to Christmas, but I also love all the things that come with it. Cheesy, feel-good sentimentality. Think that's what the world needs sometimes, you know? This one was a little different because I knew I was coming here. So I felt a little possessive of like, okay, I have to pay attention. This is mine. I feel ownership of it.
High stakes. A lot of high stakes to this one.
High stakes. Took 3 pages of notes. And also, do I plan to watch another one? Yes, I've already watched another one since I watched this one.
Oh,
yeah.
To be fair, I can say the same thing for me, because I had to watch this on the website. Once it airs, you can watch it on the website.
Yeah.
And then I paused it to go make dinner. Here's an interesting fact: is that they don't record where you were. So if you go away for a long enough time, it just restarts you to the beginning of the movie. And guess what else? They don't let you fast forward or rewind or scrub. So I had to watch the whole first hour of the movie twice.
Nice. So you really didn't even need to take notes. It's in there.
It's all in there, man. I got everything.
So how do we feel about their sort of first meet cute moment, which is when, this is something interesting. She was like, I'll carry the tree by myself, which is, a woman is perfectly capable of carrying a tree.
Yeah. Especially that tree. That tree was not very big. It was like, that tree's a little big. It's like, it was maybe up to the top of her head.
Yeah. And it was wrapped. It was well wrapped. Although, in fairness, real quick, that was not their first meeting. They had already met on the playground when we find Lucas neglecting his, we would find out nephew, but neglecting his charge because he was on his cell phone. And as a parent who has a child and a cell phone, I am very conscious of that. And my phone is always in my pocket. These days, we're not going to any playgrounds. But when we are, and I look around at the other moms and dads on their cell phones, and I judge harshly.
You'll be
That's
judging.
why I was like, he can't be the dad because he's like, oh, I was supposed to keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Like, if that's your kid, like, who's been telling you to keep your eye on it? Like, everybody? Like, that's who you are.
Sarah, great point. If I was on a playground with someone else's kid, I'm on my cell phone.
My favorite thing in that scene is that you see the little boy start to fall, but then you don't see the kid actually fall. You just hear, poof, and then he's just laying there.
Yeah.
He doesn't move. He's just laying there. I'm like, oh my God, I think he's dead. Is this how this movie's going to start off? Have I been left in some kind of Hallmark trap by Kristin and Kevin?
We had you watch the darkest one yet. A child dies within the first 5 minutes.
Hallmark morose.
So the woman, Aubrie Williams, who plays Maggie, is in a ton of these movies. and she is literally Hallmark movie personified in a human being.
Yeah.
Like, you can hand the cheesiest of lines to her. She's in the Evergreen series, and she, I think at one point was like, can I have a menu at one point? And she made it like, because you could be like, can I have a menu? And she was like, can I have like, she just makes everything crazily happy. How did everyone feel about Maggie the character?
So I quickly wanted to touch that I watched a behind the scenes video on the website. 2 fun facts I learned about Ashley Williams.
Please.
One, her birthday is November 12th, the day that this gets released.
Whoa.
Happy birthday, Ashley Williams.
Birthday, Ashley Williams.
And 2, her sister is Kimberly Williams Paisley, the woman from Father of the Bride. Like,
Oh, right. Yeah.
yeah, they're sisters.
Oh.
I was hoping she was going to say Venus Williams. Wow, that's a twist.
I was going Cindy Williams on this. I was like, oh, surely.
Thank you for those fun facts. Wow, Kev, drop a fun facts logo, please.
Yo, you got it. Sarah's fun facts.
What I was really appreciating watching this and watching her specifically was that she's obviously the protagonist in the movie, and they give her funny things to do. Like, she is charming, she is funny, she's a little silly. So I get the impression, looking at all the commercials that aired in between the show, that's kind of like the stereotype of the women protagonists in these movies, is that they're all very kind of funny and charming. Is that true?
Not necessarily, I will say, and we've seen a bunch this year, and we've referenced this taming of the shrew concept, and they do that a lot. This was clearly not that. However, they started to go that way with him a little bit, where he started off great when they met on the playground. He was kind of charming and funny, like, don't tell anyone that I wasn't watching this kid. And it's like, oh, this guy's cool. And then after she hits him with the tree, you give him a grace period of, she broke his wrist. I will give him that. But at the same time, he's just like morose and everything. Like, not everyone likes Christmas. And it's like, oh, you're that guy. So a lot of times that trope comes into play, and it does here. And clearly she is the exact opposite of that, of she is Christmas. She's the personification of, Christmas.
I wrote down, she's a joy pusher. Like, she is constantly pushing joy on him. And her little girl, the actress that played her daughter,
Ellen,
she was the cutest little girl with her little bob and her little scrunchie with a bow. I really liked
braces, right? Rocking braces, yeah. Yep.
I
rocking the
her.
braces. She's rocking those braces.
Now, a classic trope in these Hallmark films is that someone has to go get a ladder while we're decorating a tree. My favorite part of this movie was we didn't need a ladder. We just had Lucas. He was the ladder.
Too. She's like, I'm going to get a step stool. Open. There, I don't need a step stool. There's the tall man.
He's tall.
They were able to jump past climb up the ladder, fall off, and have him catch her because he literally was just the ladder.
He's just the ladder, which I thought was brilliant. A brilliant move on Hallmark's part. Save the ladder. Just use the actor.
You mentioned this before, and this was something that really stuck out for me, is how well adjusted she is to her ex-husband and her ex-husband's new wife.
Yeah.
How happy everybody is. And then you find out that he basically was just like, you do all the work and I'm going to build my business.
Yep.
And then he leaves her, gets remarried, but they are as happy as two mistletoe on a doorway.
That's for Ellen. That's just for Ellen. They're doing that for her. But I will say, Don, and Chris kind of brought it up earlier, the modus operandi for Hallmark for years and years had been kill them off. Like, that's how we make this person single. And they've been moving on with the reality of divorce is a real thing. It's a real thing. And some relationships, they are able to navigate and have a coexisting relationship because they have a kid. Some are not. I will be honest with you. This was one of, which is amazing, and I kind of want Don to watch more of these. This was one of the more contentious relationships between exes, if you can believe that. Yeah.
There's no contention.
There
no
was.
contention between them
No,
at
there
all.
was.
Just the fact that she told a stranger those things, I was grasping my pearls. I was like, oh, this is dark for Hallmark.
Also, the ex was actually in the movie.
Yeah.
Whoa. And the new wife.
Yeah.
Whoa. Because the fact that when Ellen's getting in the car and the dad was like, "Who's that? Lieutenant?"
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I did. I was like, you, Dad. Like, you had nothing to say here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You got that beautiful young redhead in the car with you who can't cook.
She can't cook or doesn't want to.
Doesn't want to.
Doesn't matter. Terrible mother. Terrible.
Yes.
I did find it very funny that Maggie breaks Lucas's wrist, also gives him a poinsettia, which his buddy Cameron does. Apparently, poinsettia is the gift to give someone at the holidays when they're, ailing.
No, Kevin, I know where they got them. They probably were just on display in the hospital and they grabbed them on the way in.
This is a quick... I thought it was going to be like a Balsam Hill thing that was going to come up, but it never did.
Speaking of Balsam Hill, I noticed they dropped an ornament at one point, and I was like, oh, it's going to break. And then it's like, oh, of course it didn't break. I'm sure it's Balsam Hill.
Yep.
Sarah, thank you for bringing that up. I literally wrote, why did they drop the ornament? Because I thought it would lead to them both hitting heads and almost kissing. I thought that was going to be that. No, he just picks it up and then throws it to her.
I thought it was a mistake, that it was a happy mistake they kept in, to be honest with you.
Maybe.
There's a ton of red herrings in this movie. At one point, Ellen says a word and she's like, and Melissa's, what's the woman's name? Melissa?
Maggie.
Maggie's like, hey, using that vocabulary list. I like when you do that. I'm like, oh, what Chekhov gun is this? How is this going to play out later in the movie?
And then the piano. She's like, oh, that practicing has been paying off. What practicing? What's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
So another thing that has been happening in a lot of these movies is that, thank God that the guy's career is an architect. Because if there's going to be gingerbread building, there better be an architect around.
Yeah.
The moment that she fell for him was the moment he started referring to gingerbread pieces as 2x4s.
Oh, you think that was the moment?
I think so. I think so.
I think it was when she said, hey, do you want to stay in my guest house, stranger? Which is, first of all, who has a guest house? Like a room or like, a room above the garage. But I have a guest house.
What teacher has a guest house? This is obviously a leftover script from a Nancy Meyers screenplay. There's no way.
Everybody's wealthy in these movies, and she is divorced. She took Alex for a ride. She's like, look.
This is what's scary. Is I'm finding all of these problems with the movie, and Kevin is able to fill those loopholes really easily. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Don, I watch all of these things.
Okay, so then let me ask this question. So then why do we have a brother and a best friend?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
Thank you, Don. I feel like they didn't know which one to hire.
Yes.
So they were like, well, he needs a reason to stay. But because I was like, is his friend going to be the villain? Because there's usually some sort of villain.
Yeah.
But
he looks like Willem
wasn't.
Dafoe.
They literally could have been the same human being.
Absolutely. There was no reason to do that unless they were banking on the pot. Because again, these are all being shot during the pandemic. So it might have been early in the pandemic, like one of these guys could die. We are going to hang her back and just do like a kind of a move around. But it was weird because his best friend Cameron, that was the catalyst to him staying with Maggie. He can't stay with his brother and sister-in-law because they don't have room. They set that up very early. His friend offers, he goes, you can stay with me and my wife. The twins are almost sleeping through the night. He's like, forget that. You never see the wife or the twins ever. And yet Cameron goes to parties galore.
Parties and winter camps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, festivals, you name it. Cameron is not a good friend. He's a terrible husband and father.
He has the best smile. Like he's got that, like I just said, he looks like Willem Dafoe and Billy Crudup had a baby.
Yeah.
And he grew up to be an architect professor in Canada. This was shot in Canada, right?
They almost all are. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when I was getting ready for tonight, I don't have any Christmas decor, but I do have a lot of Canadian art. So I hung up.
Nice.
This is my Canadian art.
Love it.
Yay.
That's great. Another moment that I really enjoyed was we're going to this party as friends talk.
Yeah.
I made a note of that. I was like, oh, they're just having a very serious defining the relationship discussion out in the open.
Out in the open. And also there was a dress. She wasn't wearing an ugly sweater.
And it wasn't ugly. It was
None of the sweaters were ugly.
This was a little ugly.
Nah.
Well, most of the other people at the party either didn't have sweaters on or jackets, and you couldn't see them anyhow. So it didn't make a difference.
You have an ugly sweater party outside, so everyone has to be wearing their coats? Come on.
But they're also just wearing sweaters and no shirts underneath. Like, it's like the most uncomfortable looking party. Like they get off screen, they're like, oh, jeez. Hey guys, do you mind? It's a little cold outside. Can I come inside?
Yeah. Do you want to come in, Don?
Oh, nice.
That's better. That looks good.
That's the same tree. It was a perspective thing. I didn't realize.
That's right. That's
the
right.
same tree. I need to know, the white elephant gift that he got was a blue sweatshirt with something on it. What?
I think it said something like white elephant forever or something stupid that they're like, oh, this is stupid. Well, let's just like only see bits of this word.
I needed to know, and now I'm just going to rewatch it and pretend it says that.
I was too focused on the sloth mug. Again, that was something like it was front and center the whole end of that scene, and the whole walk back to their house was this sloth mug. And why was everyone watching them open their presents behind them?
I don't know.
While they're sitting facing the camera. People are like, these people we don't know. That's funny.
Well, actually, this is awesome because there was a moment, and I saw this coming a mile away, and I thought they're not going to do this in 2020, and they did it anyways. There's this piece of the storyline as Lucas is starting to endear himself to the town and the people. He's working with little kids, and they're building a real gingerbread house. And they're on a military base, and these different parents are stationed in various places overseas. So Lucas kind of just connects with this one little boy whose father's in Germany. And they come up with this great concept of let's have them build gingerbread houses where they are, wherever in the world, Japan, Germany, wherever. Which
America.
America. Yeah, if you're just based in, North
Kentucky.
Carolina, you can't come home?
Or Bragg.
So they go to Colonel Morrison. Colonel Morrison's a her, which I love that moment where it was the mom is the doctor moment.
Well, it is in Canada.
What ends up happening is they are sitting at this party, and I feel like Maggie invents video conferencing for the U.S. military by going, we could have the parents talk on video chats that have been around for at least 12 years.
I think like when my brother was in Afghanistan in like 2003, we had video chats with him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a video chat. They were they weren't interacting with
No,
the kids.
no.
It was just a video that was up, and they were just kind of watching their parents.
But I thought it was very like art imitating life, where it's just like everyone's doing video chats while we're filming this. We should put that in the movie.
Oh,
And then they didn't even really, because like obviously they could, because they did for that one scene with the gift. But then with the soldiers, there's like, this is too hard. We'll just make them videos.
Yeah.
Kristin, the U.S. military may have a difficult time getting gingerbread sent to Germany and Japan or anywhere else around the world. But I know Santa Claus himself is able to get from house to house from his house in the North Pole. So let's take a quick trip to visit one of his elves, Razzle Dazzle, in the North Pole.
it's me, Razzle again, coming to you live from Santa's workshop here in the North Pole. I'm here this week to share some helpful holiday hints. Did you know that cornmeal gives reindeer gas? First, find some grade A reindeer food. Ooh, yum, 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 yum. Then add a healthy amount of cornmeal. Oops! Tee. Don't forget to mix it up with your favorite spoon. This is a very important part. Yep. There we go. Finally, sprinkle it all over your grass. Remember to use it all. There's 9 reindeer. Then, on Christmas Eve, when Santa goes to eat his cookies, the reindeer will go down on your lawn.
Is there ever a point in these movies, because when that little boy was talking about his dad,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, one of two things is going to happen here. He's going to show up or he's going to get killed. Yeah, which one is it? Do they ever kill off the dads in the Hallmark movie?
No, never.
I was going to say, that would be pretty dark.
Yeah.
Pretty dark for
but
Hallmark.
last week, Holly and Ivy, they killed a mom off.
That was the first time they've ever done that, and they do it off camera. Earlier we saw Delivered by Christmas that the mother, who was stationed somewhere, died when her convoy was attacked. But again, all that happens before or in an after fact. It never happens then. So that was not going to happen. Don, I was with you, though. I was like, that dad is showing up.
In a box.
Oh, well, but again, with COVID this year, they've been doing it a lot differently, and you do see video chats and stuff like that, as opposed to it wasn't surprising they weren't going to bring one more actor on set, which again makes his brother and Cameron that much more confusing.
Is it just me, or did his brother and his sister-in-law hate him?
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, he's so grumpy, he's so miserable, and it's like, I'm not, like, you're telling me that, but I'm not seeing that at all.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't feel like decorating Christmas tree. Come on, help us. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and with a broken wrist. So like, you get that he's a little grumpy. Yeah, I'm with you.
And like, at every opportunity, the brother and the sister-in-law are like, oh, you totally transformed him, because he's normally just an asshole. And it's like,
he lets our kid fall and break his arm.
They mentioned they wanted him to stay around for their son's baptism, but he couldn't. Right. And then it was never mentioned again, nor do I think we ever saw that baby.
Never saw that kid. Again.
We saw the, she came in carrying it, and then she put it down.
And left it at the party. That was her white elephant. She's like,
Is this for me? Oh, I really want that sloth mug. Yankee swap? Yankee swap? Yankee swap?
Yankee swap.
Kristin, we did get one piece of mail. I do want to, I wanted to read this. There it is. We got a piece of mail here, and in it has something very important. It says, "Dear Kevin and Kristin, that's us. I know you're big fans of Hallmark movies. That's true. I wanted to send you Danica McKellar's phone number." What?
Oh my God.
Danica McKellar of all of these movies? They just pop up. It's easier that way. So we have Danica McKellar's phone number. We're going to call her right now and talk to her on Remark. This is a Remark exclusive.
Yeah. All right, Kev, get her on the line.
Here we go.
Hey, it's James. I'm not here right now, but leave a message and I'll get back to you. And if there's someone calling for Danica McKellar,
the message?
I promise you she's not at this number.
Yeah. Hello, James. Listen, It's Kevin and Kristin from Remark, and I know that you have to kind of say that so that, crazy weirdos don't call you, but we're huge fans. We're huge fans.
I love that you're using the name James. It's a classic name. Like, I'm assuming you use that when you check into hotels too. So that's important for us to know as well. But we are huge fans. I would love for you to be on the show. I would love. Is that too much? Oh my God, we do a show.
But we wouldn't even have to do it for the show. We could just Zoom, like the three of us. We could have like tea and talk. I don't even drink tea. Why did that person just tea? We are big, big fans. I love everything you do. I can't wait for Christmas She Wrote.
Oh my God. Danica, please call us back or email us back.
I mean, you have our number. It's on the caller ID. Call us back, Danica, James, and we would love to have you on Remark. That would be. Thank you. We've said too much. Oh, yeah, it ran out anyhow. Oh, Chris, it's gonna happen.
She's gonna walk off set and get that message. Like, that's the cool part.
I feel like the three of us are going to become like really good friends.
I think so. I mean, if we don't, then I think
well, then clearly you did something wrong.
Then it was me.
Yeah. She and I are definitely going to become good friends.
I think I spoke too much on the message. So I want to skip ahead to one of my favorite moments. Which was the very, very, very end. Did anyone else notice that after they had their kiss on the porch, they went inside, he came back outside and got his bag to bring back in, presumably for a sleepover.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely happening.
Her daughter was there?
I don't care. He brought his whole bag in. He could have stayed at the house like he had been, but he was like,
well, no, he couldn't anymore because he turned that into her art, display by putting stuff on a crappy shelf and going, I did this for you. And it was like, really? Because that's garbage.
It's garbage.
Just another fun fact. That little boy, I was like, oh, he's really cute. And I tend to look things up on IMDb, which is how I know a lot of my fun facts. And he was also in Haunting of Bly Manor playing a creepy Victorian ghost child. And I was like, oh, very different role. Yeah. Good for you, kid. Good for you.
Wow, what a well-rounded child performer.
Wait, this is the little boy who fell off the...
No.
I was going to say, that's when he became a ghost.
Yeah.
He died on that fall.
Whoa, that would have made Blythe Manor much better for me, but that's.
You said it wrong too. It's Bly Manor. Kevin, I think you watched Blythe Manor, and that must have been terrible.
Blythe Danner.
Yeah, Blythe Danner. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
The Haunting of Blythe Danner.
It was good. Excellent.
I was struck that the opening looked like the beginning of The Shining.
You wanted a horror film.
I was like,
Don, did you notice when he went into the guest house? It was room 237. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did. I did, and I saw the carpet was that pattern. The military cannot ship gingerbread supplies really fast.
No,
despite what
that bothered me because, like, first of all, if you're downrange, you're not gonna build a gingerbread.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, we could only send my brother like tasty cakes and like very like wrapped things because it would take months to get to them.
But we had a person stationed in Germany. We're not at war with Germany. That's on a war front. And if I'm not mistaken, Germany's probably got a lot of gingerbread.
We have Lebkuchen.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Send them a shopping list.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't understand. Okay, maybe I don't understand military families, even though I'm in one. But like when my brother was stationed just in Germany, he brought his family with him and they housed his family. Mm-hmm. So for like 5 years, but when he went downrange, like to go fight in Afghanistan, that's when it's like you're leaving. Yeah. So I don't know. And maybe I'm mistaken. I thought that when these folks are away, and particularly if they're in Germany and there's no war, then their families should have gone with them.
No, they wanted a break. They're like, I'm good.
I'm enrolling next week.
Is that what you call it, Don? You think that they enroll? They enroll in the military.
They enroll. I was going to fill out my form here. And how much does this cost? Okay. I'll use the coupon honey app. See if I get any.
Don, I'm sorry, but I don't think the colonel would have taken you. That woman would have been like, nope, pass.
Yep.
Not approved.
Lovely out here.
It's gorgeous. Wow, they started decorating early this year on South 13th.
Oh, I never take it down.
Oh.
So, Kristin, I couldn't help but notice there was a good-looking gentleman in this film.
He was. Should we do Kristin's holiday Hallmark hunk objectification?
Close.
Every movie we watch, we objectify the male lead of the film because it's about time people do that. Women have had it long enough. Let's break down the men. We're breaking them down from 1 to 10 mistletoes. And this is not the actor as the human, but the actor portraying this role.
The character, as it were.
Yes. So Niall Matter playing the role of Lucas. I rate them 1 out of 10 mistletoes based off of sex appeal, swagger, meow 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 meowness, like that's a sweater on a guy, you know, and then also like, were they nice? Did you like their character? Did you like the way their character developed? Stuff like that, but more about what they look like. So Kevin, I'm going to go to you first, my friend. 1 out of 10 mistletoes for the character Lucas.
All right, so I have my number, and I'm going to give it to you in a second, but I want to say this first, because it was a fun moment. I felt a little bad, but it was kind of cute and funny. Watching this one with the wife, my daughter was exhausted and ready to go to bed, so we're talking, and I said to my wife, because she knows we get to this point of Remark, and I said, what do you think of this guy? And she goes, I mean, he's all right, but he's a blonde, and that's not really my type. I don't really like blondes. So, cool, we're watching it. And I look over, and my daughter is crying. And I was like, what's wrong? Is it that bad of a movie? And she goes, Mommy doesn't like blondes, and I'm a blonde. It was the best. I felt so bad. And we had to explain to her what objectification is, basically. That said, my daughter is about to be 7, and Niall Mater, is it Mater? I think it's Mater, is getting a 7.
Well, that's a lovely story about Kit. And please tell Kit that she's gorgeous and that we would never objectify her, only men.
Yes, only men on our channel.
Okay, good.
I'm going to go to Sarah. Sarah, do you enjoy objectifying men? And if you do, please rate Lucas from 1 to 10 mistletoes.
And if I feel uncomfortable objectifying men, what happens?
Then it's 1 to 5 mistletoes.
Okay. Well, then I'll go with the first. I think I agree with your wife that he's not really my type. Mm-hmm. I recently heard somebody describe somebody as like, he looked like the kind of guy I went to high school with. Like, this guy looked like a handsome guy I would have gone to high school with. I thought he was very charming. I was really into, he was really good at eye contact, the way he like looked at her like really intently. And he was just charming, ready to like go in there with the kids and design a whole clubhouse.
One-handed,
single-handedly. It was just super charming, really liked it. And so I was teetering between a 7 or an 8. But I came down with like, why not be generous? I gave him an 8.
Oh,
Why not? That's lovely. That's very nice of you. And the eye contact thing, dead on. Don, speaking of dead on, Don, what?
Close, if you say it real fast. Dead on.
Dead on, Don. What would you rate the character Lucas's sex appeal and character 1 out of 10 mistletoes?
Well, Chris, there is there's not a lot there for me, I think, with Niall. He's perfectly fine. Like, he's okay. You know, but even his character is really not that interesting. Like, there's all this allusion to this reason why he's had a really tough year. He doesn't like his job. Oh, I don't like being rich. You know, that's not very interesting. And even like his clothes, like all of his clothes, like he had really no sense of style. Everything was a shirt, pants, and a jacket. And even when they went to the party, like she comes downstairs, she's got this dress on, she's got the ankle boots, she's got the fine little necklace, and he's like, oh, you look really great. And she's like, oh, you do too. He's wearing a white shirt, you know? And look, I get the appeal of a white button-down shirt, especially a crisp one. Mwah, it's beautiful. I love it. But he was just middle of the road in Canada, baby.
Yep.
And for that, for me, I give him 4. 4 mistletoe for Mr. Niall Mater, who does not matter.
Ooh, wow. Good wordplay, too.
Thank you.
This is great. 2 things before I even give you my ranking of this guy. 1, Don is obsessed with women in boots.
Oh, yeah.
2, Don, a crisp white shirt on a guy has been mentioned, I think, 3 or 4 times by me on this show.
It's important to point out that Hallmark has its tropes and Remark also has its tropes.
It's the best.
Oh my God.
I was at your wedding.
Don, if you love a well-fitted white shirt, you have got to watch Christmas with the Darlings, because there is a choice option in that.
I feel like I saw half that movie in between.
Just in the pop-ups.
Yeah.
The character Lucas. You know when you're like sitting there and you're thinking, should I fart?
Yeah, that's all the time.
The whole time I was just thinking, again, he was like, I don't like my job, so I've had the worst year ever. And I wear this sweater and I run and get hit by trees. And like, I don't know how to set up an art studio. Paintbrushes? He kissed her twice on Kristin's kiss-o-meter. Bring that slide up. I give him a big because it just didn't get my rotor.
Your rotor. Yep, didn't get my rotor cleaned out.
I gave him a 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
A 4.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry, Niall. I'm sorry. Don, you hit it dead on. His fashion could have saved him. He's not a bad-looking dude, but they put him in the dumbest, and I know that's not his choice, but you gotta learn how to work an outfit, Niall.
Do you feel that the title would have been better if it was Never Kiss This Guy in a Christmas Sweater?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that a saying? They allude to that. She says it at one point, you know that old saying, never kiss a guy in a Christmas sweater? I'm like, no.
That's so they could say the title
Yeah.
in the movie, which is what
Okay.
they did with the 12th date of Christmas. The 12th date of Christmas? What? The 12th date of Christmas? They said it 4 times in the first 10 minutes of the film.
Another fun fact.
Sarah's Fun Facts.
So it was based on a book, which was actually called Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Jumper, because it's British.
Of course.
And I read the first page on the Amazon, like look inside. And they're both bicycling and they bump into each other. And he breaks a leg and bruises multiple ribs, which I think makes way more sense than like whatever was happening with his wrist.
It's
Yeah.
Misery. It's the plot of Misery. So Don, you thought it was The Shining. Turns out it was Misery all along.
That shot works in Misery too. A snow-covered mountain pass, remote.
I wonder what Don would have rated Cameron, our Willem Dafoe, Billy Crudup offspring.
What did you give Cameron?
Well, Kristin, I was waiting for him to turn into the bad guy, and he never did. He was actually like the sweetest guy.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was good looking, but he was striking because
Mm.
he just kind of has that look about him. So I
Mhm.
would probably give him like around a 6.
Sure.
6 mistletoe.
Sure.
Okay.
That's fair.
But when he's dressed as the Green Goblin, 10.
Whoa, nice. I did love that, she called around to, let's say, 3 or 4 bookstores and found this book, and he bought her tickets to France. I mean, yeah, there's something very sweet and sentimental about this book, and but he bought her tickets to France. And then at the end, she's like, do you want to come with us? And it's like, no, I can't afford to. I bought you 2 tickets to France.
Now, let me tell you why I know this is a movie. All right. This is real life coming in here. When I was in high school, I had been dating a girl for about 3 or 4 months. And she had mentioned to me at one point that she really wanted to see Cats. So I got her tickets to see Cats on Broadway.
Wow.
We were going to take a bus up. We were going to go see it, get something to eat, and come back. I had been dating her for 3 months. She got them, and she opened up her card, and she saw the tickets, and she said, Don, this is too much. That's to see Cats.
Yeah.
We knew this woman who broke his wrist for 3 days. And he bought her tickets to Paris, and she's like, woo!
I sell tickets professionally. I don't want to go against my company, but I'll say get a gift certificate, because are those tickets refundable, exchangeable? What dates did he pick?
Right.
What is he doing?
And they're obviously from 1985, the style of ticket.
It's a TWA on it, and it was like, oh, he got those real cheap.
Yeah.
Joking.
You can buy gift certificates for theater tickets at any time.
Hey, American Airlines, I have this gift certificate. Excuse me? I got a gift certificate from this guy I just met.
So we didn't discuss the first kiss, because normally you're like, oh my God, it's so scandalous that they kissed only 3/4 of the way through the movie. And so when it happened, I was like, oh my God, this is so scandalous. And as soon as I said that, Santa goes, ho, ho, ho.
It's in my notes. I know. I said it to my wife. I go, I think Santa's being a little judgy.
Right. And it was the way they cut to it, it looked like he was sitting, he had turned around and was looking at them as they were kissing.
Yeah. I don't think a sleigh has a rear view mirror to be able to look.
No.
So, yeah, he's sitting there like, what's happening back
I
there?
hear some smacking behind me.
Yeah, this has been a weird season for kisses in Hallmark. They've been doing it much earlier. They'll do it multiple times. So, yep.
Yeah, she was divorced. They kissed more than once. It was just wild things were happening.
How about that dark turn when she overhears that he's leaving? She gets so dark, so
She doesn't even let him touch her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote down, this was so sad and so dumb. She needs to do a better job of eavesdropping, because she walked away too fast.
That was 100% Mr. Furley in Three's Company. 100%.
I'm just so tired, and I get it. It's a plot device. Just at one point, listen to the full conversation.
Own it if you're going to listen in. Just be like, what's it now? What's it?
or pull them aside and say,
What?
I just overheard, are you leaving?
Yeah.
Just confront him. Maybe he's like,
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm selling all my stuff and moving here. I'm in love with you. Here are tickets to France.
There's no conflict in this movie. That was the first time there was any conflict whatsoever. She accidentally assaulted him and made him have to get surgery. And it was still that's not a problem. Fine. His brother and sister-in-law kind of hated him. And so that was maybe some friction. But overall, there was there's no, I was trying to do you can't diagram the plot. There's nothing happening. It's just all just extreme happy charm goodwill offensive that you're just
Goodwill offensive.
That's true, that there really was no conflict anywhere other than, will they get the supplies to the families?
Will the gingerbread house stand?
Will the Colonel be nice? That was
Yes.
the one time when they are physically bringing, I think, food to some people, and they have their granny carts. If you pay attention to what she's doing with her granny cart, she has never lived in a city before in her life.
No. Thank you. This is why Sarah and I talk about this at work all the time, because Sarah, I also noticed her cart work, and it was appalling. Guys, we not only got to watch 2 Hallmark movies, but there were also 2 other new Hallmark movies on Hallmark Movies and Mystery. And of course, we have our finest sleuths on the case, Aubrie Williams and Shannon DeVido, to figure out why the film, The Christmas Ring, was a mystery.
Hello and welcome to Winter Wonder Whodunit. As always, I'm Aubrie Williams and this is my co-host, Shannon DeVido. Shannon? Shannon, are you there? Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, I thought you were a dog.
I'm not.
Mystery solved. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Until next week. This week we solved the mystery of the Christmas ring.
There's a woman named Kendra whose mom died. She's a writer for Quizzer, which is just BuzzFeed, we all know. And she is searching for her mom's ring. It's gone. It disappeared. And so she goes to an antique shop and finds a ring, and it has an inscription in it, so it's not her mom's, but it takes her on a journey to find out whose ring it is.
It's an investigative piece?
It's a real mystery!
An actual mystery!
We did it!
Pew, pew, pew.
This is exciting! Pew, 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 pew.
This mystery takes her to the town of Pine Grove, Massachusetts. Because of course it does in a Hallmark movie.
Obviously.
She tries to find the jeweler store, but it's just a bakery.
Is that the mystery?
That the jewelry store was never a jewelry store and it's been a bakery this whole time? Did they Sixth Sense us?
I see cookies.
A travesty. I need a ghost cookie though. Let's not lie. We both eat ghost cookies.
Halloween just happened. I ate many of them.
The guy who owns the bakery leads them to the general store in town,
which is owned by a guy that she saw in the streets, brother. She was like, is this the jewelry store? And he's like, no, it's a bakery. And she's like, it's supposed to be a jewelry store. And he's like, well, it's a bakery. And that's where their love affair began. Okay, so the bakery guy brings out the ledger, and they find out that that ring was owned by Sidewalk Man's grandma. He says, go see him. This is where he lives. So she gives him his address, and she goes to his house.
Yes.
And so he was engaged to a famous person.
Yes.
Because apparently in this universe, architects are celebrities. So they broke up, and he's like hiding, and he thinks that she's there to interview him about the breakup. And she's like, no. I just want to know about the ring. And he was like, F you, bye. And she's an investigative journalist for Quizzer, which right off the bat, I mean, that's basically like saying I'm a fake person who's doing a fake article. I would have been very concerned as well. His brother and like sister-in-law were kind of like, well, I mean, you know, he's like a little quiet. Like he doesn't like to talk about it. So like be nice. And she's like, I'm not there for that. And they were like, okay. And I feel like they were kind of like into it. They like trusted her. The big mystery to me was how this woman works for Quizzer and writes one article a week for fake BuzzFeed and seems to make a very nice living. She's like, I make good money. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How do you do that? Also, how do you have health insurance? I'm not sure if anyone's actually worked for BuzzFeed, but I guarantee that none of those people writing quizzes about what kind of cheese you are makes any kind of decent living or has health insurance.
Shan, she wrote the holiday banger, What Reindeer Are You?
Oh my gosh, can we take it right now?
Yes.
Okay, Aubrie, what kind of thing do you like to do? Dance, prance, Vicks, or Dolph?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with dance.
Okay, great. You are dancer.
Oh my god. Great, now your turn.
Okay.
1 through 8, what's your favorite number?
8.
Rudolph, because that's the last one mentioned in the song.
Yes! That's the one I thought it was. I mean, at least you're not the whore. The horror reindeer.
That Vixen, right?
I'm gonna say yes.
Back to our mystery, friend.
Oh, sure.
While you thought the real mystery was that she makes money while working for Quizzer, I thought the mystery was how many dead parents are in this movie. Because when she mentioned that she lost the ring after her parents died, she was like, it was almost like my parents died all over again, or losing them all over again. I was like, okay, her parents died twice, and then we got his parents that died once. That's the highest dead parent count in a Hallmark movie.
It is quite the dead parent count. I mean, I feel like they make dead parents in order to create tension.
Yeah, they could just do that with like an actual script and a climax to build up.
Aubrey.
And I shouldn't say it's the only thing they have, because they throw 17,000 details into each movie. Some that are loosely touched on later, like the peppermint detail.
Oh, please tell us about that.
Yes, in the beginning of the movie, Kendra says, I hope that's her name.
It is now.
In the beginning of the movie, Kendra's friend hands her a cookie, her coworker, and also friend.
Yeah.
Hands her a cookie, and she tastes it, and she's like, did you taste this? You should always taste it first. And she's like, there's too much peppermint. And then fast forward to when she's making whoopie pies. They're not having sex.
Oh, hey, oh.
She's making whoopie pies with Michael Jones. They're peppermint whoopie pies, which is where the detail comes in again. And I do want to say this about this movie. This was the most infuriating detail for me. So they do like a cute montage, baking together, like being like playful and like flirty, like a flirty aggression scene where they put some peppermint candies in a towel and they fold it over and they put it on the counter, and then Kendra beats it with a rolling pin. And then he opens it up and he's like, great job! But there's like 3 full peppermints and only like half a crushed one, it looked like to me. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but there was definitely like 1.5 full peppermints, and there was only like 4 in there in the first place.
I feel like the mystery of Hallmark Channel movies is, do these people ever eat actual food? Because I don't think that they know how food works.
We did it!
We did it! We solved it!
They really don't know how food works, and they say they know how food works, and then you find out they're just liars.
How is their house not on fire? If I try to bake something, everything ends up like garbage. I mean, I didn't even make anything in the Easy Bake Oven. So, like, come on now.
She's smart. She works for Quizzer.
No, that's on me. That's on me. She has health insurance.
She will never burn down the house, and if she does, it's covered by Quizzer.
Right? Her whole trip was covered by Quizzer. I don't understand what this place is. Last detail. The whole point of this movie is they try to figure out where this ring went. Her grandma never wore it, and everyone was like, where is it? And they're like, no one knows. And it's like, they have this whole thing about like selling the shop and stuff. I guessed immediately that his grandma sold the ring. Like maybe 20 minutes into the movie. And pretty much was screaming it at the movie the entire time. They did not figure that out until 4 minutes before the end of the movie.
They hinted at it before a commercial break when they're like, oh, look, there's this missing timeline. And I was like, you guys, come on.
Maybe that's why you don't have people who make quizzes for a living become investigative journalists. I don't want to poo-poo anyone who makes quizzes for a living. I love them. I've taken many of them. I love knowing what celebrity I'm going to marry next year. But I don't think that these people making these quizzes are investigative journalists.
It took close to 2 hours for them to figure this out, and they both didn't even have a light bulb go off in their head. They were just like...
Not one went off? Anyway, we solved the mystery.
Yes, Shan, it ends with another Christmas Eve dance. You're watching this, so I don't care if we spoil it for you. The big, wrench in their plans is that the editor of Quizzer, I assume, or whoever, she releases the article, but she does it the way she wants to do it, so it talks about Michael and his relationship. And then he gets mad, of course, and then his sister-in-law releases it as the lead story of the Pine Grove
Gazette
newspaper, whatever it is. So many details in these movies. So she releases it as the cover story on the day of the big Christmas dance.
Sure.
maybe this was the big mystery, but I love how they dropped it at the last 5 minutes. The one thing I will say about this movie is there's been at least 4 good mysteries in it.
Yeah. No, they had a lot of mysteries. All the mysteries that didn't exist in any of the other movies were all in this one.
It was like a casserole of mysteries.
It was a 7-layer cookie of mysteries, if you will.
It was a taco dip of mystery.
Yes, I think that is the best way to
I
describe
love
it.
food, so I'm sure they'd be here for our analogies. I think she wears a blue dress again, just like the other one. Jesus Christ, so many blue dresses. That was in Christmas Tree Lane.
Wait, she did wear blue? Yeah. Wait, I don't remember.
I thought she wore a blue dress.
It wasn't red?
Okay, if I'm wrong, I've only watched these movies once, and I was doing a puzzle during that one.
It's totally fine.
I thought she wore a blue dress, but I'm gonna look up a screen cap soon or watch the trailer because I bet that's it.
I think that you're right, though.
Okay, so basically it's the same as Christmas Tree Lane. It's the same exact movie except with mysteries.
Yep.
And the whole big mystery is that she's gonna show up at this dance, and she writes in the article like, I'm gonna show up at this dance and I'm gonna wait there for Michael. We'll see what happens. Shocking, he shows up. He doesn't have to. Honestly, I probably wouldn't if I were him. It has a happy ending, like, I guess all of these things. Yeah.
At least we solved like 84 mysteries in this one, which was very exciting.
Where's our gold medal? Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Winter Wonder Whodunit. Until next time, Winter Wonder Whodunit. Out.
Wow, Aubrie and Shannon, they solved another one.
Solved another one. Man.
They are so good. If I ever need someone solving something for me, I'm going to them. Oh, speaking of solving something, Chris, how about we solve the mystery of how many mistletoes that you'd like to give David Alpay?
It is. It's David Alpay playing the role of Michael in The Christmas Ring. Now, I always rate our fellas 1 out of 10 mistletoes, give them a nice objectification off their looks, their sex appeal, and I guess if you liked their character, if that's the sort of thing you're into.
It's not.
So, Kevin, 1 out of 10 mistletoes for the character Michael. What do you give him?
I like this character. It was a little off-putting when all of a sudden he's like, I know why you're here, don't even try. And I was like, whoa, what is going on? I liked him, though. Overall, I liked him. I don't know how he got his grandfather's car started. That was a mystery for me. That was a big mystery for me because he said it hasn't run in years, and all of a sudden it was driving. It runs on love. And because of that, David Alpay, who is from Philadelphia, some other people who've played in Philadelphia, Von Hayes, perhaps Jim McMahon. We know him as a Bear, but whatever. He played for the Eagles for a bit. They all wore number 9.
Woo! Kevin! Okay, so little known fact about Kristin is she loves vampires, okay? Little fun fact about David Alpay. He was in the hit CW series, The Vampire Diaries. So right out of the gate, that gets you 6 mistletoe before you even do anything,
Nice.
All right? So he started with a nice base of a 6, and then he spoke, and then he moved. And then he leaned against that car where he's like, I brought this car. And then he talked, and then he was a jerk for a little bit. And then he had like a little vest and was like hammering things. Oh my God. Like if you're gonna, oh boy, when he went over and he's like, he like sat on that thing to put what did the lady
Garland?
Garland.
Yeah, that's where he took the hammer.
He took out a hammer and it was like the smallest, like gink, 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 gink. And my insides went gung, 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 gung. But anyway,
yeah.
I loved him so much. Kevin, I'll admit, we're not supposed to text each other while watching these because we don't want to ruin it. But I texted Kevin, meow, 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 meow.
It's true, but it did say no spoilers.
It literally was no spoilers. I'm in love with him. Meow, meow, meow. I gave him a 9.5.
Whoa. Nice. Dolly Parton, 9 to 5.
9 to 5, baby. He can build things inside me if he wants to.
Man.
Don't let my mother watch this.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we want to thank our guests, Don Montrey, Sarah Blask. We want to ask you guys if there's anything you'd like to plug. Sarah, why don't you go first? Is there anything we can plug for you?
I'm not in anything. My social media is mostly pictures of my cat, which, mileage may vary. But I watched this movie Saturday night, and I think part of the reason why I enjoyed it so much was because I was in a really good mood because of events that happened on Saturday. And so I want to put my plug towards keeping that going and donating towards the Senate runoff election in Georgia. Fairfight.com is, I believe, Stacey Abrams organizing things for those two Senate candidates.
That's great. Yeah, and you can see the website there at the bottom of the screen. Don, what can we plug for you, sir?
Well, of course, you should always go to ComedySportsPhilly.com for all of your online improv comedy needs. And, of course, Comedy Sports every Saturday night at 7:30. It's great for everyone. But especially I want to give a plug to this brand new show. Well, actually, not brand new. It's the second time we've done it. It's called Play It Out. And it is stand-up comedians inspiring improvisers. So you have a selection of 6 awesome stand-up comedians doing short sets, and then improvisers use the material from those sets to do some really fun comedy scenes, hosted by Miss Kristin Finger and Mr. Daryl Charles, not here. And I get to play this week, so I'm really excited about that. And that is this Friday, 8 o'clock on the Zoom right here. You can get your tickets at ComedySportsPhilly.com.
So you can see that link also at the bottom of the screen. And if you're watching this episode when it comes out, then it will be tomorrow, Friday. So check that out. That is fantastic.
I just am so thankful that I brought these two friends together because they technically both at one point in their lives and still do. And me too, Kevin, you're the oddball out, have worked for the Wilma Theater. So yay!
Wilma. Yay!
I have eaten Flintstone vitamins, and Wilma was my favorite. Yay!
Yay!